The search for the Silver Mountain. They went into the mountains looking for silver. What they found instead was fear, greed, and a silence that never forgave. Most of them never came back. In the mid-17th century, the Appalachian Mountains were still a mystery to colonial America. Thick forests covered the land like a dark ocean. The trees were tall, old, and silent. No roads, no towns, just wilderness. People believed anything could be hiding there: gold, silver, or death. The legend of the Silver Mountain began as a rumor told in taverns, whispered by traders, and repeated by men who wanted more than their lives could give them. Elias Mercer was one of those men. He claimed he had seen stones that shined like moonlight when broken open. He said a native hunter had shown them to him deep in the mountains. Mercer never said exactly where, but that did not matter. Men listened, and men believed. Soon, 5 of them gathered to search for the Silver Mountain. Thomas Reed, a former surveyor who trusted maps more than instincts. Samuel Clark, a frontier hunter who knew forests but not fear. Jonah Whitfield, a blacksmith tired of being poor. Caleb Moore, a religious farmer who believed God guided every step. And Elias Mercer, the man who wanted silver more than anything else. They left civilization behind at dawn. At first, the journey felt hopeful. Rivers were clear. The air was fresh. Birds filled the sky. But as they moved deeper into the Appalachians, the land began to change. The forest grew darker, the paths disappeared, the silence became heavy. At night, strange sounds echoed through the trees: footsteps, whispers, sometimes nothing at all, which felt worse. One morning, they found a message carved into a tree. Turn back. The letters were deep and rough. Someone had carved them recently. Caleb Moore said it was a sign from God. Mercer laughed. If someone reached this far, he said, then the silver is real. They kept going. Days turned into weeks. Food became scarce. Tempers grew short. Jonah complained constantly. Thomas argued with Mercer about direction. Samuel stayed quiet, watching the trees more than the men. Then one afternoon, everything changed. Jonah slipped near a creek and smashed his hand against a rock. The stone cracked open, and inside it was a bright silver vein. Real silver. They stared at it like children seeing magic. From that moment, the expedition was no longer about survival. It was about ownership. That night, an old native man appeared at the edge of their fire. He carried no weapon. His eyes were tired. "Mountain remembers blood," he said in broken English. "Silver takes more than it gives." Mercer offered trade goods. The man refused. "You dig," the old man said. "You die." Then he vanished into the forest. Fear settled into the camp, but greed was stronger. The next morning, Samuel Clark went to check traps. He never returned. They found his rifle near the creek. No blood, no struggle, just his footprints leading into the trees and stopping, as if the ground had swallowed him. Caleb begged them to leave. Mercer refused. Jonah agreed with Mercer. Thomas hesitated too long. That night, a storm came without warning. Rain flooded the camp. Trees cracked. Thunder shook the ground. Jonah tried to move the silver stones they had collected. A landslide followed. Jonah Whitfield was buried alive under mud and rock. They never found his body. Only Mercer, Reed, and Moore remained. Caleb prayed constantly now. He barely slept. He said he heard voices calling his name from the forest. One morning, he was gone. His Bible lay open by the fire. Mercer didn't care anymore. He believed the Silver Mountain was close. He climbed higher into the peaks alone, carrying as much silver as he could. Thomas Reed followed him. They reached a narrow ridge where the ground glittered faintly beneath the soil. The Silver Mountain. Mercer began digging like a madman. Then the ground collapsed. Thomas grabbed the edge. Mercer slipped. As he fell, he screamed, not in fear, but in rage. The mountain took him. Thomas Reed was the only one who made it back. He returned months later, thin, broken, and silent. He never spoke of the Silver Mountain again. But sometimes, late at night, he would whisper the same words over and over, "The mountain remembers." And deep in the Appalachians, the Silver Mountain still waits, untouched, unforgiving, and hungry.